Okay, so I've seen Now You See Me, Now You Don't, aka Now You See Me 3, and we have the return of the Four Horsemen after for so long, and even for the fact that this is now a trilogy, and this time they are joined by young upcoming magicians that I can perform illusions themselves. And I think that this was a brilliant return to form, even with some flaws that I'm about to get into. This lived up to the excitement after waiting so long for a third movie, and that's all I'm gonna say from here. So this will be my full non-spoiler review, go over my thoughts and my impressions, and this was any good after such a long time of waiting with the Four Horsemen and everything that was pulled up here and so much more. And so, if you're new there, be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so I'm on any future vids. But now, let's talk about this movie. And now, starting off here first, is when it comes to Now You See Me and this entire film series as a whole, it is one of those movies where you have four magicians pulling off illusions and magic tricks on people and can make them do anything, and there are amazing sequences and action to be involved when it comes to the actual show itself for what the Four Horsemen pull off. And even with the first Now You See Me, which I thought was good, and the follow-up to that, Now You See Me 2, which I thought was somewhat solid, that had Daniel Radcliffe in that film. But now, when it comes to Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and now with this being the third installment, and the fact that that took like so long to come out, and you would, the question maybe is like, why did it take so long? And even to bring back the original cast, but also it is introducing a new group of people to help them along. But there are also magicians that had like so many skills within them, and I have to say I think that this one is a very decent movie, and just from how everything is pulled off, and I really like that we have the Four Horsemen back. They really bring the entertainment value and the illusions and all the joy that we love from the first two movies, and even for how it is here, and it is a very rich, complex storyline that is delivering on a new concept, and even to deliver a new formulaic value. They try to come up with something new and something fresh, and I think I was a bit satisfied on some levels, and even with the young cast, which I adore, and even with they're played by Dominic Sazza from The Holdovers, and Justice Smith and Ariana Greenblatt, and with the way that these three work together into helping the Four Horsemen without having to feel like watering down or being like stretched out the entirety of the movie, and I think it is really really done right, and even to focus on the Horsemen for what their storyline is, and even after being reunited, and yeah, because with their mission and their heist is with a Harris main villain that is involved with a diamond, and they had to do everything that they can to expose her. And I think that this was a somewhat good movie, and even with like Now You See Me, and I think I really enjoy these action crime thriller magic movies, and I think it's got some pretty cool sequences and new stuff to go around, and I think with some of the stuff that they pull off, like without having it feel like cheap or too cliche, but I think it is really good. And even for me, as someone that really gets enjoyment out of the two movies, and I think with the third installment you'll really get a new taste for what the Four Horsemen had to pull off in terms of the action and how far they are willing to go in order just to keep it like underway, and just like not like introducing like so many things, but like keep it simple and keep it neat. And I think with this entry, and I think it is brilliantly good, but even though there are like a few flaws there and there, for what is also being introduced is stuff that really wants to pull you in and to keep you on the edge of your seat. And even for the fact that I had no idea that this movie was coming out, but with the way that this movie was being presented, and now even just with the term Now You See Me and Now You Don't, and I think it was a really good title to get me on board to witness this movie. And And even with like what they tried to capture from the two movies, especially the first movie, and I think it really does a good job. Even from the opening minutes alone, it definitely will be a love letter to why the first movie is so great. But with the way that the four horsemen are trying to pull off a great heist while also interacting with the young magicians, that they really form a great bond and chemistry and development and that dynamic with that group. From the action that is pulled off and wherever they go to and to try to get this done, and I think it is something that you'll definitely want to witness this movie for. And there are twists and they are reveals, and even by the end of it, I wouldn't mind for like a couple more movies, because I think this is such complex and rich material that they can be explored like so much more. And even for the fact that, hey, it is a trilogy, and just for like how we see it now all coming together, and I think it is so good, while bringing in like the old cast while also trying to put in the new without having it feel like overshadowed with the four horsemen trying to work together. And I think it is so damn good. And even by the third act, it's when it really starts to come together. But even from like some tidbits and pieces, like, and I'm not sure if I felt interested or being intrigued by it, but even though I definitely felt interested for the most part. And even with Jesse Eisenberg, which I enjoyed having him back for the first time for so long into these movies, and he is usually the main star. Just from the young magician's chemistry alone, it really is enough to get you engaged to care about these characters. And it felt so great seeing the Horsemen back. And truly, by the end of it, I really want to see more. And even though there's something at the end that will definitely make you excited, and even if you want to see more movies out of this series, and yeah, I think it is somewhat good. And if you're a fan of this series, and if you like the first two movies, and you'll definitely be in for a treat for Now You See Me 3. I think it is definitely so dang good. It is very impressive for how they come up with new material, but we'll also try to stick it to the original Horsemen after reuniting for so long. And it's a good story, and I think it's something that you should definitely go out and see. But I mean, even though I have mixed stuff about these movies, but I do think they are good, entertaining stuff, and especially with illusions and magic tricks, but with the way that the four horsemen pulled off, especially in the third installment. And I do wish that things could have went differently, like a magic trick being pulled off, but there is still a lot of great magic and some great action to go around with that esque type of feeling of like just after finishing it. And for me, I was a bit just satisfied once the credits roll. But hey, it is a good solid entry, and I wouldn't mind for more of these as well. So for my final thoughts, I liked Now You See Me 3, and I hope that we get more out of this series. And for what they teased towards the end of the movie, and I think there is definitely more on the way. You pretty much never know. And I just do think that since some parts of the movie were like bland, or like some parts even from the main villain alone, but I think it is a very much a good installment. But it's nice that we have the people that we love from this entire series just to pull off illusions and keep it entertaining and so much more. And yeah, I think it is a good one as well. So I'll go out and see this if you're a fan of the series. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and if you've seen it, Now You See Me, Now You Don't, give me a rating to 1 out of 10. Let me know in the comments down below your opinion. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to notifications about future videos. Also follow all my social medias all linked down below. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.